following show is controversial and contains content you may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
98 FM's Dublin Talks. Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Good morning. It is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which means we've only Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday to go. It's getting close. In fact, by this time next week, it'll all be over. Yeah, it will. Good morning. Welcome to Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today, and we have a busy programme for you between now and midday today. On today's programme, we're going to be here. We've spoken a lot in 2018 about homelessness. We've spoken to people who are homeless and about, you know, the difficulties of living in hotels and all of that. This morning I'm going to be talking to a young lady, 16 years of age, who is homeless for the second year in a row. And she's featured in a video that is doing the rounds about being homeless at 16 at this time of the year. I'll be talking to Laura a little bit later on. We're going to be asking whether or not your accent affects your job prospects. Do you posh it up a little bit when you're going for a job interview or if you're on the phone? Do you have a phone voice, for example? We're going to be talking about how accents affect our lives a little bit later on. And drink driving arrests since the start of December are at record levels. We're going to be asking when was the last time you were breathalyzed, and would you ever report on a friend? Would you ever report on a friend? All that and much more between now and midday today. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. Now, first off on the programme today, a video has been sent to us that was recorded at Talca Park in Finglas yesterday. It shows at least a dozen horses and ponies just walking around aimlessly, unaccompanied, through a housing estate, beside a main road. And according to the horse rescue charity, this situation is now as bad as ever. It's been going on for the last few weeks around the Finglas area. And Martina Kenny from My Lovely Horse Rescue joins me on the line. Martina, I love talking to you, but I don't like talking to you because every time I talk to you, every time I talk to you, unfortunately, it's to highlight something bad. Now,
I know
the short video that you sent us is very short, but it shows clear, and it's on our Facebook page as well. It shows clearly that these horses, a group of horses, just walking around Finglas with nobody to pay any attention to them.
Yeah, and this is happening all the time. That group of horses have been roaming around now. We think they're coming out of Dunsink, where there's probably about 200, 250 horses. A lot of them are coming out because obviously there's no food. And there were 15 impounded last week from the same area wandering around. The council has been notified. They employ the pound. The pound have to go out and get these horses. But it's hard as well. It's very hard on us because we have 200 plus horses right now. We can't take any more. And there's no way we could take a dozen at one time. Resources, we're all volunteers. It's costing us a fortune, and it's just very sad. And I just made a quick note of just yesterday's calls of all the horses. Just yesterday. It was Ballyferm at Finglas, Darnday and Tala, Ballymun, and just now I've just got a text about a horse that's dead up in Cherry Orchard. What are we all going to do about this? And this is only
tell me about where was this? In Cherry Orchard, whereabouts, do you know?
We've got just at one of the just a piece of green field up there. There's a few horses seemingly in bad state, and one is dead. Now the woman reported yesterday. She thought it was lying down. We went up to have a look, couldn't see it, and then we just heard the same horse. So it's obviously dead. One of the volunteers are heading up now. But this is going on all the time. Another call from Ballyferm yesterday outside, just near the Gala. A horse being beaten to bits because it wouldn't move with the cart behind it. It had been tied up for ages and then wouldn't move. So people watched that. A woman and her baby watched that, and she called us crying. Like, this is crazy. And then some authorities will actually say, there is no horse problem. There's a huge horse problem. There's a crisis all over this country. And we're dealing with, like, not just here, we're dealing with the whole country are calling us as if we're huge and we can get anywhere. Now, we do have our centre in Cork, and they're only small, and they're running around and trying to get to other parts, Kerry as well.
So where are all these horses coming from, and who owns them? Let's say the horses in Finglas yesterday. Yeah. Where are they after coming from?
Well, we think Dunsink. So we all know Dunsink. When you pass it on the M50, you see a load of horses up there wandering around all the time. There was a project set up a few years ago by Irish Horse Welfare Trust. I think, we don't really know, part of it is still under that project, but then there's a lot that just took over the whole land up there, and they dumped the horses. It just goes beyond a joke then, because then horses are breeding, and the land then is wrecked, so there's no food, there's barely any water. And once again, once the snow comes, we're back out there trying to get hay to all these horses and water. Now, I have to say, locals have been brilliant. All the people that keep getting in touch with us, we say to them, look, can you just get some water to them, some food if you can? And they do. Like, they're brilliant, But the only way to stop this, there's no point in keep impounding. All we're doing is like the government, whatever, spending a fortune. What we need to do is stop the breeding and make sure that kids can't just buy a cheap horse. They aren't allowed to breed it. If we enforce the law, once again I say the same thing, please enforce the law. If we enforce the law, this will stop eventually,
And explain to me, Martina, what is the law with regard to stray horses or horse ownership?
Right, so first of all, a horse has to be chipped and passported. Pretty much, 90% of the horses, or probably 99% of the horses that are wandering around, are not chipped and passported. There's no ownership on a load of them, so therefore there's no comeback. It's mainly a lot of kids that would own a lot of them, so they're underage anyway. And even if they are over the age, they're not chipped and passported to come back to them one way or the other. So what we have to do is the police need, and of course, the police are dealing with so many other things. It is very hard, but we have to have some sort of, follow legislation and go, right, it is illegal. That's the end of it. You're not allowed, if people know there's a huge fine. I keep saying, if we have posters everywhere, just like the way it's for litter or smoking, everywhere, to say you're going to be fined. If the kid can't be fined, the parents are fined. But hit them hard. Hit them where it really means something. And money.
Okay, stay there for 1 second, Martina, because I want to just do a little experiment here. I want to get a handle on how bad a problem this is. If you have seen stray horses in Dublin over the last week, let's say, I want you to text or WhatsApp me right now on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. I want you to text me right now what part of Dublin you have seen stray horses in the last week. Okay? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. I just want to get a handle on how big a problem this is. But Martina, from what you're telling me, this is becoming an epidemic problem.
Yeah, because kids and adults as well are buying horses for little or nothing, 20, 50 euros, whatever. Sometimes they're free. We got a call yesterday from Blanchardstown, and I tried to sell, I'm not even sure, saying, can you take 2? Well, maybe 3 out of a field. I tried to sell them, but no one would buy them. We said, look, we're really full. What are we supposed to do here, And our next message back was, well, then I'm just going to put them on the road. So, these are big animals. They can cause a lot of traffic damage. And, it's wrong to see in a very cosmopolitan, especially city, to see horses just roaming around. That's crazy.
So who is ultimately responsible? Who is meant to stop this? Who is meant to ensure that we don't have horses walking down
our government, of course.
Talca Valley Park and Finglas?
Yeah, our government have to stop this. If they were walking down the likes of D4, it would be stopped pretty fast. You know that. Let's start to send them all the way down Grafton Street. Then for sure it would be stopped. There'd be posters everywhere then. There would be huge fines. This is the problem. They're walking around in areas where the people are so used to seeing it. They're like I've spoken to loads of people. Now, I'm originally from Ballyfermot. I see it. And that's the thing. And you get so used to it that you're like, oh, yeah, that poor horse is just walking on by. That's the way people are seeing it. They hate it. And they're calling us because we're the only people that are actually answering calls and answering Facebook messages and emails and doing something about it. Like everybody.
Okay, so we do. The problem here, from what I understand, is we do have laws. We do have fairly strict laws with regard to horse ownership and so on. But those laws aren't being enforced.
They're laws. They're not held to be strict, and they're certainly not enforced. And that's the problem, you know. And, you know, it needs to be said everywhere, like, you know, you can't keep a horse in the back garden. How many, like, if you go around, if you had a drone right now and put it around some of the areas that I'm talking about, there are a lot of horses in back gardens. That's not allowed, you know. That's against the law. There's so much law breaking. It's insane. But these are kids as well doing it. Parents allow them. I spoke to a parent and she said, I bought him. I had said, you know, he's after selling the 2 last horses that you got him. I know. I will look at. I got him another one. He said this is a better one. And I actually saw this kid on Ballyfermot buy and sell, selling. He had got a mobile phone for the horse and sold the mobile phone because actually he could sell that quicker than he could the horse.
Wow.
That's sad.
Okay, I'm just looking at some of the messages coming in. Ballyfermot, Lucan, Darndale, stray horses in Crumlin, Finglas and Ballymun. A lot saying Finglas, a lot saying
I think they're all coming out Dunsink and Finglas, which is very sad.
I've seen 6 or 7 horses right beside the main road in Finglas yesterday, and in fact that might be that video that we have up on our Facebook page. Only a few steps back and they could get run over. It's very sad. The video that My Lovely Horse Rescue shared is on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D, and what you can clearly see is just a large group of horses just walking along the road. And it's dangerous for motorists because they could walk out in front of cars. It's dangerous for the horses because they could walk out in front of cars. It's awful to see. It really is. And
the council, like, in fairness, you know, DCC are trying their very best. The pounds they employ. I know for a fact we're in Wexford and Galway yesterday, same problems. They're going around every single city. They are out the door busy. All towns are out the door busy. And it's sad for me to even have to say that that's the problem. Like, you know, that's how we're solving it, by getting the pound in. But, like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a horse being killed, but I'd rather see it being killed than either beaten to death, starved to death, or knocked down by a truck or a car, or people being knocked down or killed or whatever as well because of it, you know. And this is the sad reality that we're living in. And yes, we'll have loads of other people go, oh no, there is no horse problem. There's a huge horse problem. And it's really sad. Come to My Lovely Horse Rescue Farm and you'll see the amount we have from all
So what is the answer? Oh, well, actually, Martina, stay there for 1 second because I want to talk about what the answer is here.
Yeah.
Dermot, you are a bus driver.
That's right, yeah, on the Route 27.
And what have you seen?
Well, on my journey daily, I see horses up around there, but particularly between Jobstown and City West, there was 3 horses coming down on a really busy road. The motorists coming towards me were flagging me down to slow down. I ended up actually stopping the bus and trying to get them into a field myself. I got out of the bus. I felt so sorry for the poor things, you know? Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. That's very decent of you, but you shouldn't have to be doing that while you're...
But to tell you the truth, it breaks me heart what I see every day up around there, you know.
And it's not just around there. There are loads of parts of Dublin that this is a huge problem. Well, fair play to you, Dermot, for doing that. But this is something you see very regularly.
I see it regularly, yeah. It breaks me heart. You know, the poor old devils, you know, freezing cold, no water, sitting in open fields, tied to a tree, you know. It's outrageous, you know.
Martina, thanks very much, Dermot. Martina, let me ask you, I've 2 dogs. By law, I have to have my 2 dogs chipped, and we have them chipped. Do horses have to be chipped?
Yes, horses have to be chipped and passported to the owner. But that's another thing that's not enforced because the kids are selling them from one to the other, very rarely chipped or passported anyway. So, I mean, it's just too easy. It's too easy to buy a horse. That's the thing.
Where can I? Well, in fact, I was just looking online earlier on Dun Deal, for example.
Yeah.
And on Dun Deal, there's one horse here for 150. There's donkeys for sale for €100. Miniature pony for sale for €100. A 3-year-old Welsh stallion for sale for €400. Surely that's not allowed, is it?
We've no value. We've no value on horses. There's so many of them. Ireland is actually overpopulated with horses, which is crazy as well. And there's no value on them. We've lost the value because we've allowed indiscriminate breeding. Like, that's the problem, you know. So if there were posters and signage and everything all over the place saying illegal to have a horse here, it's council grounds or whatever. That's what they need to see.
Okay, but not enough of that is being done.
It's not even done at all.
Okay,
we're
stay there.
saying it all the time.
Stay there for a second. Paul, this morning, stray horses on the Malahide Road.
No, Adrian, sorry, it was last Friday.
Oh, right, okay.
I was coming up by Clare Hall there, and you know yourself, I drive a truck for a living. So this is 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and right across from Clare Hall, only I had the spotlights on. There he is standing in the first lane. And there was about 4 or 5 other horses around him. Now, what annoyed me more was what I saw on Friday afternoon. I was heading actually to Clare Hall, but I was coming up by Dunamate Shopping Centre. Traffic was really, really slow. When I got up to the roundabout, there was a guy there with a horse and cart. And the car, it looked like Steptoe and Son, but he was beating it with a whip to try and make it go faster. And he must have hit it 10 to 15 times. Everyone was beeping at him. I actually rang Coolock Garda station and I was told, well, what are we supposed to do? That was their attitude.
And in fairness, Paul, what are they supposed to do?
Well, they could ring the animal cruelty or something. I suppose I should have done that myself. But surely they could go up and say, look, you can't, or even if there's somebody in the area, just the fact that they pass by and say, don't be hitting the animal like that. You know, animals should be taking the abuse that I saw their horse taking.
That's disgusting. That really
just because they wouldn't make it go far. And I would like a scene out of Steptoe and Son. That's what it looked like. There was that much crap on the back of this, whatever you call it, the back of the trailer thing.
I have to say, hearing these stories, I think in 2018, Martina, we're going to have to get involved in some sort of a campaign to get this sorted out. Because
well, that's it. It is a plan of My Lovely Horse Rescue. We are at the moment planning a campaign, and hopefully you will see it in bush shelters and everywhere, because we're just letting everybody know we've had enough. Like, half the stuff we don't even post. You know, and we really should, because people actually need to see what's going on in their own country. It's so sad, you know. And I know we have homelessness and we have of all these horrible things going on, but we can't forget about these animals. We can't forget about them. They literally can't go into a shop, or they can't go into a dole office, or they can't go and look for help, ask for help. You know, they just can't. And it's really, really sad that we are ignoring. And like that man said there, the police should have actually just come up and said something, because there is no cruelty hotline unless you just leave a message. That's it. There's nobody going to run out there. Besides us, it's My Lovely Horse Rescue that I usually do on the road, and we've all got full-time jobs, like, you know, and all volunteers, but amazing volunteers.
All right, stay there. Let me just bring in one last call. Dean, you're on 98 FM. How are you?
Not too bad, yourself?
We were talking about how big a problem this horse situation is in Finglas, but it's also a big problem in Ballyfermot.
Yeah, huge problem, yeah. That picture I sent in, I was on my way to work during the summer, and I looked in the corner of my eye, I sees a horse sitting at a front door like a dog waiting to get in.
And just to explain that photograph that you sent in to us, it is a photograph of a horse sitting down on the ground outside the front door of a house, and like you said, it's like a dog sitting waiting outside a house, but this is actually a horse.
Yeah, it's not right. You know, I see it all the time. I'm into horses myself. I grew up with horses. I have a horse myself. I see a lot of it in Ballyfermot, and sometimes it can be cruel, but sometimes, you know, it keeps the lads out of trouble. Probably 50% of them anyway. But you see it all the time, horses roaming around like dogs or humans, you know. It does be funny sometimes, but sometimes you think, Jesus, we've got a poor horse out in the lashing terrain or whatever. is a big problem, though. You see a lot of horses around Dublin on my travels, just left in fields.
And what's your solution to this? What do you think can be done?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I was listening to that girl there. See, I see both sides because I'm involved in horses. You know, I see the young lads, but some of them now, they aren't old enough to be looking after themselves. You know what I mean?
Let alone a horse.
I do think they should be chipped and built, and there has to be some sort of consequences for young kids under the age of 16 with a horse. You know.
And Martina, what is the law with regard to horse ownership? Do you have to be a certain age?
Yeah, you have to be over 16, but also there should be consent of a parent and stuff, but you also have to have lands, and none of these kids ever have lands. They're using council land and parks. Now, just to say there, is Dean, I think, we work with a lot of the guys, like in Ballyfermot, in different areas, the Labra Park lads, and the horsepower project in Ballyfair and Cherry Orchard. And we hope to get that up and running the next couple of years. And that's just a minority of the guys that really do care, and some of them have come from horrible backgrounds, but they do care about.
Yes, and this isn't to take away from people who genuinely own and care for and have property to keep a horse on, or at least access to somewhere to keep a horse.
Yeah. So if
but
we
this
have more
is
horse projects in the different areas, and they're not going to be able to take that many. But if we do have more of those, and the council are helping out with all of that, the thing is that then at least you can say anything outside that project. That's the end of it. There is no more horses allowed. That's it. I don't care if you can't get into the project. You can't get into the project. You're on a waiting list. But you should not have a horse then, because they can't look after them. It's just like we face the summer when they're jockeying them up and down in the heat and they're leaving them to die. No water, tied up. Then we have to face the winter where they're freezing cold. They've got no food, again, no water. It's like somebody said to us a couple of weeks ago, which is worse, summer or winter? I was like, I don't know. It's all worse at this point.
Well, Martina, I have to wrap it up there, but I'm very interested in your campaign in the new year.
And can I just say something?
Yes, go on.
That we do rely on donations, and it is Christmas, and if anybody would like to donate, it's www.mylovelyhorserescue.com, and we really, really would love donations at the moment, just to keep going with the 200 plus that we have. So thank you so much.
And we would love to get involved and get behind your campaign in the new year as well. So because just looking at the amount of messages coming in to us, this is a major problem. We all know it is, but it's something.
Well, thank you always for helping to highlight it as well. You're brilliant.
Thanks very much indeed. Martina Kenny from My Lovely Horse Rescue. Thanks very much indeed. Final message on this. Horses are everywhere. As Fingal County Council are not enforcing a ban, most of the houses that have horses in their back gardens are presumably council houses, and one of the rules will be no unauthorised pets. I live in Dunleary Rathdown Council area and in a council home, and when a neighbour called the council on us for having a lamb in our back garden, we were ordered to remove it. In other words, the point being, why is nothing being done about the horse situation? One more message. This cruelty to horses makes me insanely angry. And it does an awful lot of people. Not to be horrible, I love animals, but could these animals not simply be put down? How cruel is that? And finally, Adrian, the council need to evict these scumbag families, and this will reduce animal abuse in these working class areas of Dublin and beyond as a whole, says John. All right, thanks very much indeed for all of your messages. On the way after the break, we've spoken on a number of occasions about homelessness in Dublin, but what's it like when you're 16 and facing Christmas homeless again? We're back in a sec.
98 FM's Dublin Talks
with the Des Kelly Interiors gift voucher for beds, flooring and more.
98 FM.
We have spoken about homelessness on this programme many times over the year, and spoke to people who are living in hotels and B&Bs and family hubs, but never before have we actually spoken to a child who is in this situation. To talk to them and get their perspective on things, to hear what it's like not to have a home, in the words of a child. Well, today that's going to happen. A young Dublin girl has spoken out about what it's like to face Christmas homeless. She recorded a very touching video that went viral this week. Her name is Laura Hogan. She's 16. She's facing her second Christmas as a homeless person, along with her mother and her younger brother. She's one of around 4,000 children expected to be homeless on the 25th of December. Laura's family became homeless in the summer of 2017. Her younger brother and mother spent last Christmas in a hotel, and earlier this year they moved into a family hub. Now, family hubs are, well, in fact, I'm going to ask Laura exactly what a family home is in just a second. She's spoken about her situation, saying, it kind of does kill your Christmas spirit when you're going by houses and they have their lights and decorations up and their Christmas trees, and we've none. I'll be talking to Laura's mother, Selena, in just a bit to find out how they ended up in this situation. But let's hear from Laura first. I spoke to Laura earlier on this morning before she went to school, because that's where she is right now. So just before she went to school this morning, I had a chat with her. I began by asking her to tell me a little bit about herself.
I'm 16 and I'm living in a hub with my ma and my brother.
And for our listeners who aren't in a situation like you where you're homeless, tell us exactly, what is a hub?
It's kind of like a dormitory. Like we share like a bunk bed where my ma and my brother are sleeping on the bottom bunk and I'm sleeping on the top. We share 2 kitchens with 11 families. We don't really have our own space.
Now, the video that we were talking about a couple of minutes ago has been seen very, very widely. How did you feel about being asked to record that video?
I was happy to do it. I was just a bit nervous.
And in that video, you explain that this is your second Christmas homeless, that you've had a very difficult year because this year you lost your grandmother.
Yeah. It's coming up to Christmas and it's really hard around that time because that was around the time of her birthday and it just really can get you, as in, like, I'm blessed that I get to go down to my auntie's in Kerry for Christmas. It's better than being in this hub situation.
You made headlines last Christmas as well because of your homeless situation. For a young lady like you, you're on your way to school. For a young woman like you, what are the difficulties, the practical day-to-day difficulties of being in this situation, especially at this time of the year?
It's just not having a home and not having my own space because we share a bathroom to get dressed in. We're not able to put up a Christmas tree or anything because the hub is actually just really small. And it's like we can't really show that it's Christmas.
Now, also during this year, you did your junior cert. How difficult was that, trying to study for an exam like that?
I found it was real difficult, but I pushed through it because I didn't have my own space and obviously you can't always go to the library to study, and it's just I didn't have my own space because obviously my brother would want to play with me, but he couldn't because I was studying and there was no real space for me to kind of just I need to just be on my own because he was constantly just wanting to run around and mess and make noise, so I couldn't really concentrate on what I was doing. But I'm glad the way I have studied, the way that I got the results. I'm really happy with the results.
Brilliant, well done. Now, come here, tell me about this time of year. You're one of 4,000 children that are expected to be homeless this Christmas. How does that make you feel?
I'm grateful that I actually got somewhere. There's probably a good few of them families that probably don't actually have anywhere to go. That for Christmas they're either stuck in a hub or else they're not stuck anywhere. They just don't have anywhere to go, and it's just kind of grateful that I'm here. But it's not the same without a home. It's so difficult to kind of get into the festivity of Christmas or anything like that.
And the video that we were talking about earlier on, the video that's gone viral, what have people been saying to you about it?
Well, I haven't got any proper feedback from anyone that I've known in person, because I think when it was just set out, like, there was a lot of people that were seeing it from different places and all, and they were just like, they were so amazed. And I was reading some of the comments, and there were lovely comments that I was reading, and just like, it was amazing the way like people would say this and they'd be like, we need to help more the Irish homeless families, because there's so many people that are Irish and homeless. Of course, there's obviously refugees coming to Ireland, and then, but I mean, like, obviously they need to be homeless, but everyone does need a home, especially around Christmas time.
Well, I have to give you credit, Laura. 16-year-old girl, your video is very powerful. It does get the message across of the difficulties of being homeless at this time of the year. So well done for doing it. Well done for having the bravery to do it. And I'm not going to keep you much longer because I know you're rushing off to school. How far do you have to travel to get to school?
About 10 minutes down the road.
All right. Well, look, have a good day in school, and thank you very much indeed for talking to us, Laura.
Thank you. Bye.
Now, I'm joined on the line by Laura's mother, Selena. Selena, welcome to 98 FM.
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Selena, firstly, you must be very proud of her for making that video. It's very powerful.
I am absolutely amazed and just so proud of my girl, just getting out there with her story. Not just for her story, but she's actually just speaking the voice of thousands of other teenagers that are in this crisis. Thousands of other teenagers that are going to go through what my daughter is going through for Christmas. And I couldn't be any more prouder of it, to actually stand up now as a teenager, as the next generation, you could say, in this society, to stand up to the government at 16 and say, this is how it is and something needs to be done. It's absolutely amazing, and I couldn't be any prouder of it.
Last year, in fact, you were in the news as well, because your little lad said, "Dear Santi, I don't want toys this year, just a home." And sadly, a year later, you're still in the same situation.
Yeah, it's pretty much, that's kind of, Santi's kind of Christmas list for homeless children, like this year and last year, and any child that's homeless this Christmas. I mean, that's kind of just what they're looking for. I mean, they don't want toys. I mean, you've seen it there only a couple of weeks ago, that other little girl, little 4-year-old girl there that was in the hotel crying. That's the reality, Adrian. This, people out there think, oh, they're after being given a hub and it's clean and it's safe. Oh, they're after being given in a hotel room and they don't have to pay for this and that. That's not the point. Like, if you were to have a family of 5, now I'm blessed it's only myself and my 2 children, but for a family out there, say, of a mother, a husband and 5 children, living in a confined one space with probably 3 bunk beds in the rooms and a double bed, I mean, that's no way of living.
How did you find yourself in this situation?
Well, just a common problem, really. A year and a half, 18 months ago, I found myself like that. My landlord sold our property. Just kind of the common thing that's going on lately, what's making all these families homeless and why the homeless has just increased constantly. It's landlords selling, landlords renovating, or landlords saying they're renovating just to move them people out so they can get the higher rents. It's just becoming a real common problem.
Now, I know one of the big issues for you last year was that no landlords would rent property to you because you were on the housing assistance payment. They ran a mile as soon as HAP was mentioned. Has that not changed at all?
So you see, what's happening now basically is there's some people out there that are kind of, one of the lucky ones that will get HAP houses. But the other side of it as well, there's a lot more of a percentage of families out there like myself that, they hear the word HAP, or rent allowance, and they run for the hills. They don't want to know.
So what does 2019 hold in store for you? And how, I know your daughter Laura said she'd be down in Kerry for Christmas, so she's somewhere to go. What about you?
Well, like that now, as you see, my auntie now, she would be the only family I actually have left who lives down in Kerry. So for Christmas now this year, being my last family member now, we will be spending Christmas with her, which we're so blessed and grateful to actually have a family member left in our family. to actually go to for Christmas.
Okay, so that's where you'll be for Christmas.
Yeah.
But what does 2019 hold in store for you?
2019 holds in store for me, I suppose, just living in this hub and just still fighting to be housed, whether it's like, you know, with HAP or council or whatever I have to do. I mean, I started this journey and started this story 18 months ago, basically not just to highlight, you know, out there, oh, look at me. Like, it was basically, I was highlighting, you know, this is just one story of 10,000 families that are living in the same means and same, you know, in the same way.
So do you think, are you optimistic that you'll be sorted by next Christmas?
It's touch and go. I mean, you just don't, you know, you're just left in the know. Like, you don't know when you're going to be housed. You don't know how close you are to getting housed. You know, you can ring up the systems every day and they'll still tell you the same thing. Oh, we're listening to families ringing us every day with the same story. There's nothing we can do for you. You have to look for HAP houses. You have to do this. You have to do that. It's just not that simple the way they make out over the phone saying, oh, go out and get yourself a HAP house. Like, it just doesn't work that way. It's not that easy.
And we were talking with Laura a while ago.
Lauren.
Lauren. Your little lad, Scott, is the one who wrote the letter to Santa last year.
That's right.
How is he and how does he cope?
Well, with Scott now, like, Scott does have special needs, but Scott also, like, is linked in, like, with a football team he's been playing for 2 years, so that's kind of helped him out a bit. It's very hard for him as well. I mean, having to sleep in bunk beds with your kids and have to share one bathroom, it is difficult. I'm not going to say it's not. It is, but at the same time, there's more families out there worse off than us. So I'm so grateful to actually have what we have. But it's tough. Like, it's tough on all of us. We've no space. We've no privacy. You know, there is times like where,
and for the people giving out about what are they moaning about, they have a roof over their head, you kind of agree, you accept that you do have somewhere.
100%. I'm so grateful. Like, that's what I'm saying. I've always said, like, from the time I became homeless, whether I was in a hotel or a hub or whatever, like, I've always said, like, I'm so grateful to have something. You know, like, you know, I know it's not a home and I know it's not like a big, like, house that we need, but I'm just so grateful to have something to know that we are safe every night and we can sleep and we have warm, like, we have a bunk beds, but we've warm bunk beds. Do you know what I mean? So we're never ungrateful for what we don't have, like for what we don't have a home, but we have somewhere warm and somewhere safe.
Well, look, I wish you a very happy Christmas, Selena, and to Scott and Lauren. And like I said earlier on, you should be very proud of her for making that video.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on.
Have a good Christmas, and I keep my fingers crossed that something changes in 2019 for you.
Please, God, you never know. But thanks very much for having us on. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. On the way after the break, I'm going to be telling you about an ice cream parlour serving the most disgusting ice cream in a flavour that I think, well, I should like, but it's just, ew. I want to know, at this time of the year, what do you love to eat that is that little bit weird? Text or WhatsApp me to 0877 98 98 98. For example, our Jeremy likes Christmas pudding on bread. Like, what is that all about? What is the weird foods that you like to eat at this time of the year? Christmas pudding on bread. I'm going to find out what that tastes like straight after the break. But I'd love to hear from you on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. What weird food combination do you love to eat at this time of the year?
98 FM's Dublin Talks
With the Des Kelly Interiors gift voucher. The perfect present this Christmas.
98 FM.
Now, in just a moment, our Jeremy is going to be leaving this building and he is going to be going out on our annual selection box giveaway. Any hints as to where you're going to today?
It's a place we've never gone before. No, that's a brutal hint, actually.
That's a brutal hint,
yeah. Oh, God, where can I say? It's within a 4-kilometre radius of Dublin city centre.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, is that okay? Yeah, I think it was 4 kilometres. Yeah, it is. Okay, so it's within 4 kilometres of Dublin city centre. So if you stand at the GPO and got a compass and did 4 kilometres, that's where we're within that space.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
Okay, so within 4 kilometres of the city centre.
Yes.
You have hundreds of selection boxes.
Absolutely. The 98FM Thunders are literally piled with selection boxes that we will be giving to you. If you're a regular listener to this show, if you're listening to 98FM for the last few years, you'll know we do this every single year. I love it. It's going out to meet you, the listeners, and to give you back something, to say a little thank you. However, these selection boxes are not just ordinary selection boxes, because some of them contain money. And
cold, hard cash.
Well, it will be cold because it's freezing.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be cold, hard cash, yes. Some of them will contain €150. Some will contain €100. Some will contain €50.
Okay, so how this works is, as soon as we announce the location that you are located at, where you're going to be heading off now in a second, you just, listening, you just have to arrive, hold your hand out, and if you're there on time, you'll get a free selection box. It's as simple as that. You just have to turn up. And it's first come, first served. Obviously, they're all selection boxes, but some of them have money inside, and you could win. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
We had dozens of winners last year winning anything up to €200. So everybody that comes along, once we still have them, will get a selection box, and some lucky people will get a selection box with money in them. And I'm leaving here in about 5 minutes. I'll be doing a Facebook Live video on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D, giving you little clues as to where I am. But I can tell you now, I will be in a 4 kilometre radius of the city centre.
Okay, now...
So that could be... That could be, where could it be?
It could be anywhere. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Okay, now, I came across this story earlier on, right? And then you told me what you like, and I was like, really? Get a load of this. I love, one of my favourite things to eat at this time of the year, is Brussels sprouts.
I know, you go on about them like
absolutely. I could eat them till they're coming out my ears.
You go on like about the food of the gods. They're for scum.
No. I absolutely adore Brussels sprouts, okay?
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know if I'd adore this. A Scottish ice cream parlour is getting customers into the Christmas spirit by adding Brussels sprouts to their ice cream menu. Mackey's from Aberdeen unveiled their new festive flavours, and the most controversial is the limited edition minted Brussels sprouts ice cream.
Now, we spoke to Mackey's just before we came on air, and by the way, they're up to their eyes at the moment. And I asked the people working in Mackey's, how popular is the Brussels sprout flavoured ice cream? And they said it's quite popular. So they have apple pie and custard flavoured ice cream, especially for Christmas. They have gingerbread ice cream. That sounds all right. That sounds, and one of the things that they are selling is Brussels sprouts flavoured ice cream. Now, I'm looking at a picture of it.
It doesn't look appealing, I have to be honest, and I love my Brussels sprouts, but the thoughts of eating Brussels sprouts flavoured ice cream doesn't appeal to me at all.
But I won't have you knocking my Christmas pudding sandwiches.
Christmas pudding on bread?
Yeah, it's something I ended up doing last year, just as a trial. We had a bit of Christmas pudding left over in January, and I was starving one day in January. I arrived home from work, there was nothing in the fridge. I got a slice of Christmas pudding, put it between 2 slices of bread, slapped it down. I'm telling you now,
okay.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I don't like Christmas pudding anyway. I can't imagine what it's like on bread. Right, go. Jeremy's gone off. He's gone to give out selection boxes at a location that we'll be announcing very, very shortly, so stay listening to the programme. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you about your weird food combinations. Now, Brussels sprouts and ice cream to me is just... even though I love sprouts. Text or WhatsApp right now to 0877 98 98 98. What is your weird food combination? And especially at this time of the year, what is it that you love at this time of the year? Vincent, you're on 98 FM. Vincent, you do what? You eat what?
For my lunch, Adrian, I'd like to have a packet of popcorn, but I'd put a bit of brown sauce on top of it.
On top of the popcorn?
Yeah, it's nice, yeah. It does be nice, to be honest with you.
Ew.
No, but it sounds a little bit odd. But just give it a try for your lunch. I bet you like it.
No, I love
bit of chef sauce on top of the popcorn. I know, it's nice, like, you know.
I love popcorn. I love brown sauce, but not together.
But you haven't tried it, have you?
No.
I'm telling you, give it a go. I bet you'd love it. Trust me. Loads of brown sauce on top. It's actually nice, I swear to God.
All right, stay there for 1 second, if you can there, Vincent, because I want to go to Aberdeen in Scotland. The owner of Mackey's in Aberdeen is Corinne Heehow, and she joins me on the line. Corinne, welcome to 98 FM here in Dublin.
Thank you. Hello.
Your sprout-flavoured ice cream has travelled across the Irish Sea, and we're talking about it on the radio in Dublin. What is that all about?
Well, we're having a bit of fun in the parlour. We've got over 20 flavours on our NPD, that's New Product Development. Lady Pauline likes to have a bit of fun creating new different flavours, hand-making, finding new things, unusual and maybe a little bit bizarre. But
now, I mentioned a moment ago I love Brussels sprouts. I'd eat a whole bowl of them. But mixing them with ice cream...
Well, they're good. They are actually good baked in cream, so maybe it's not that big a leap. But she, in order to create a festive special, she tried pureed, cooked sprouts. She tried frozen sprouts, shredded. But we turned to our flavouring house to make a real sprout flavouring to come up with the final product.
Now,
and we've added, it is a minted Brussels sprout, this one. So there is a peppermint flavouring too, which some people like, alongside the Brussels sprouts.
How well is it selling?
Well, we did only make, we call our large tubs a Napoli, so there's 5 litres. We've made 2 of these, and we're on the second already. We just thought it would be a bit of fun and people would have a little taste. But, you know, we've had ladies having a couple of normal large scoops. We've had some people trying it as a side serving of ice cream with bacon on their waffles. And
so it's actually sold. It's actually sold a little bit better than you even expected.
It is, and it's obviously causing a bit of interest if you've heard of it over there.
Yes, well, it is. Indeed it is. And you have other flavours this Christmas, gingerbread and Christmas pudding ice cream. That sounds all right. It was just the mixture of sprouts and ice cream is just what caught our attention.
They are a bit more traditionally delicious, aren't they? Personally, I might go for the gingerbread.
All right, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for taking the time. That is Corinne Heehow from Mackey's in Aberdeen about their sprout-flavoured ice cream. What is your weird food combination? I'll take some more calls straight after the break. 98. Live and exclusive to Dublin's 98 FM, Monday through Friday between 10 and midday. This is Adrian Kennedy. You're with 98 FM's Dublin Talks. And Trish is here with Wednesday's top headlines.
Thanks, Adrian. Gardaí are investigating an attempted carjacking near the Phoenix Park early Monday morning. A man stopped his car at the junction of Cunningham Road and Island Bridge when he saw a man lying in the middle of the road. The driver got out to check on the man when a woman tried to get in. The suspects failed to take the car and fled. 3 men are due in court in connection with a theft operation in the city centre. The 3 men were arrested at Dame Court yesterday after attempting to steal a wallet. A number of phones were also found. Retail Excellence Ireland says alarmist weather warnings from Met Éireann is costing businesses tens of millions of euro so far this month. The organisation claims wind and rain alerts are putting people off shopping. And Kylie Minogue is going to play Glastonbury next June. It'll be 14 years since the pop star was originally meant to appear at the festival but had to cancel when she got breast cancer. And now you're up to date on 98.
98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
It's Wednesday. I hope everything is good in your world. I'm Adrian Kennedy and I feel physically ill. Just looking at some of the weird things that ye like to eat. We were talking about Brussels sprouts flavoured ice cream being launched in Aberdeen, which is actually sold better than they expected. Jeremy likes to have Christmas pudding on bread. And I'd love to know what your weird food combination is on 6797981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Here are some of your suggestions. I like King Crisps with sliced banana. It's amazing. All my family love fried white pudding and tomato mixed on toast with an egg on top. We call this the Boylan Special. Ice cream and cranberries, says another message. Oatmeal porridge cold with yogurt and ice cream. Ew. Ew. Where am I going now? Let me go to Lee. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Lee?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks, Lee. What do you like?
A burger bite sandwich.
Now, burger bites are those kind of burger-shaped little crispy things.
Yeah, you can get them. Yeah, you get them in the shop. They come in an orange packet. Yeah, I have them on a slice of Brennan's bread and with a load of dairy gold butter. Lovely.
Now, okay, I love a crisp sandwich. I don't mind if they're cheese and onion or salt and vinegar. I'll do either. But a burger bite sandwich.
Yeah, it's lovely. You should try it. It's great. Different compared to all the King and everyone buys at Christmas with the 20 packs. Now we just get a load of burger put in it. Eat away.
Okay, I'll try them. I'll buy a packet on the way home. I'll buy a pan of bread, and I get real butter, and I'll try them when I go home.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now here's another thing I love at my dinner, and it is mushy peas. I absolutely love mushy peas as well. Properly steeped overnight marrow fat peas. I love them, but I can't imagine having a mushy pea sandwich. Oh God. What is wrong with you? A mushy pea sandwich, says that message. I love Jaffa cake sandwiches with lots of butter. Now, I love bread, I love butter, I love Jaffa cakes, but you shouldn't mix the two together. How weird are you? I like some really weird messages coming in here. I like paprika on my cereal. I feel ill. Paprika on your cereal. Let me see. I love to have a slice of blue cheese on gingerbread. Another message says, melted dairy milk chocolate with cornflakes, which is bizarre as well. I don't do it. Sorry, I can't look at that WhatsApp. Sorry, I'm going to lose the run of myself here. Luke.
Yeah, things.
Paprika on your cereal.
It gives a nice kick in the morning. Wakes you up anyway, I thought it.
Now, what sort of cereal? Like, what sort of cereal?
Depends. I deal with Cookie Crisp, Cocoa Pops, Rice Krispies. I convinced 2 people in the office to start doing it. Now they do it every day as well.
Okay, so paprika on your cereal. Yeah, that to me just that just sounds disgusting. Is it as disgusting as it sounds?
No, not at all. When it mixes into the milk, it makes a reddish colour. It's beautiful.
Nice, okay. Maybe I'll try it. I like paprika. I like cereal.
Put them together and you got a winning combination.
Okay, fair enough. Here's another few, some really bizarre ones. Sliced beetroot and mayo on toast. Taco chips and mushy peas. Now, I always thought that stuff was guacamole, but no, this person actually has taco chips and mushy peas. I like to have... Oh, here's a photograph. Let me have a look at this. Oh, how weird. How weird. Jam on crisps on a sandwich. Ew. Now, somebody's messaged in to say, my sister puts ketchup on scrambled egg. What's weird about that? There's absolutely nothing weird about that. I absolutely love ketchup on scrambled eggs. And just one or two more. Bread and butter with loads of sugar and dipped in your tea. You dip your bread in your tea? My missus makes a lovely dish up at Christmas. Brussels sprouts chopped up, bacon and a bit of crumbled up stuffing on top. Leave it on the oven for half an hour and leave it on the oven for half an hour. Try it. And Nutella, ham and cheese and onion sandwich, chili sauce and cereal. Oh, sorry, I have to end this conversation because you're all just disgusting. You're disgusting, the lot of you. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. Now, next on the programme, I have a question for you. Would you report a family member or a work colleague if you suspected that they may be about to drink and drive? When was the last time you were breathalyzed? I want to find out how widespread the checkpoints are this Christmas. In fact, you can text or WhatsApp me now on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. When was the last time you were breathalyzed? Or were you ever? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Let me find out whether or not you have been breathalyzed, say, in the last 2 years. Because I want to find out how widespread this is. Now, we've two reasons for talking about this subject. Figures released today show that people are continuing to drink and drive. There have been at least 445 suspected drink driving arrests so far this month. And we're only, what date is it? The 19th. 445 suspected drink driving arrests so far this month. These are figures from the Garda Síochána. Since the 30th of November, 445 arrests on suspicion of drink driving, with 218 of these in the last week alone. Of the total, 205 arrests occurred between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. and a further 43 arrests occurred between 9 a.m. and midday. So clearly there are still many motorists who don't see an issue with this, who continue to take a chance. In one city in the UK this week, they launched a campaign urging people to report friends, colleagues, and even family members who may be drinking and driving. But is this a step too far? Is that something you would be prepared to do? Crime Stoppers in Surrey and in Sussex are encouraging people to keep the festive season jolly by helping save lives on the road. It's asking work colleagues, neighbours, and even family and friends to report anyone they know regularly who drives over the limit. And 2 pints. So if you know somebody who's had 2 pints, what they are asking you to do is to pick up the phone and call them and tell them that your uncle or your workmate or your friend is after getting into the car and after having 2 pints. Here's what they say. We appreciate if you're close to someone who gets behind the wheel regularly while over the limit. It can be difficult to come forward. It could be a work colleague, a neighbour, or even a family member or a friend. Fear of being identified can be a reason people don't feel comfortable coming forward. Our anonymous service helps remove that fear. Is that something you would be prepared to do? Would you pick up the phone and squeal on somebody that you know? Because maybe that's the only way we stop this. 445 suspected drink driving arrests in this month of December alone. Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. And I want to find out as well how widespread drink drive checkpoints are this year. When was the last time you were checked? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Ed, you're on Dublin's 98 FM. How are you, Ed?
Adrian, how are you?
Now, Ed, it says on my screen here that you reported 2 only last weekend.
Friday and Saturday, yeah. The one on Saturday night was weaving up the Townyear Road, and when the cops got him in, I pulled in behind him, and when they took him out of the car, he actually couldn't stand.
Really? He was pelagic?
He was locked. It took 2 cops to actually have him by both arms to help him in. He was that drunk.
My God. And that's something I thought was definitely a thing of the past. I'm aware that some people still take chances if they've had a couple of drinks, but I didn't think there was anybody getting behind the wheel of the car in 2018 Ireland absolutely pelatically drunk.
I don't even know how we found the ignition. In fact, I don't even know how we found his car. He was that drunk.
And so you actually rang the guards on this fella, did you?
I was driving behind him. Yeah, he was weaving up the Tarnier Road. I have no problem about doing that.
Okay, and I've done it myself. I remember a couple of years ago driving on the road from Bray to Greystones, the Winegates Road, and there was this guy who was literally mounting curbs as he drove down the hill. So I rang the guards, and in fairness to them, they were very quick, and they pulled him in down the road before I even got there. And because he was a danger, he was going to kill himself, he was going to kill somebody else. He was literally mounting footpaths as he was driving down the road. But anyway, the question, though, is, would you report somebody that you know?
Yeah.
So if you were in a situation over Christmas where a colleague or a neighbour or a family member or a close friend got in behind the wheel of a car with drink on, you would ring the guards?
Well, Adrian, it's like this. I'd rather them lose their licence than actually lose their life or kill somebody else.
Because, okay, so you would obviously try and talk them out.
Persuade them not to do
yes.
it, but if as a last resort, they're just going to get behind the car, yeah, absolutely.
Because some people believe that's the lowest of the low to...
It's not the lowest of the low. Look,
and in fact, this service in the UK is giving you an opportunity to report them anonymously, which is even lower, is it not?
Adrian, at the end of the day, what would you rather them do? Or have lost their life or their driver's license?
I think it's obvious the answer to that question, but...
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'd rather people lose their licence than their actual life. I mean, take a spin out to the National Rehab Centre in Dunleary any time and just see the people there that are recovering from catastrophic brain injuries as a result of road traffic accidents. And probably, I'm not saying all of it, but some of them probably as a result of drink driving.
Yeah, not all, but some, yeah, I agree. You see, I'm trying to find out, Ed, you're out driving regularly.
Yeah.
Are there many checkpoints this year? Because I haven't even come across a checkpoint. Let alone be breathalyzed in about 4 or 5 years, I'd say.
Well, I haven't been breathalyzed at all in December. There was quite a few out in November. And one weekend there in November, I think I was breathalyzed 4 different checkpoints at 4 different times of the night. So it's great like that. I mean, I've no problem being stopped and breathalyzed. It really only takes a minute of your time, and if it's a deterrent to drink drivers, you know.
Okay, so in answer to my question, I mean, somebody just texted in. The last time I was tested was about 5 years ago on the Bellegarde Road. I haven't even come across a checkpoint since, and I can say the same, Ed. It was probably about 4 or 5 years ago the last time I was breathalyzed, and I haven't. Maybe I've come across one checkpoint since.
Well, I've seen none, and I've come across none in December.
None?
None.
And you're out driving a taxi morning, noon and night?
Morning, noon and night, and I've seen none.
Right, stay there for a second, Ed.
I cover the four corners of the city a couple of times a night every weekend, so I've seen none.
Wow, okay, that says a lot. But there were a fair few in November, but not. You haven't seen any in December. That's not to say, by the way, that there aren't any checkpoints. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, yeah. But I personally have come across none.
All right, the question we're asking is, would you pick up the phone? And this is what I want you to answer. I want you to have a think about. If a colleague or a neighbour or a family member or a friend got into a car with drink on them, would you call an anonymous tip line? Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Because here's the reality of it. The new figures out today show that 445 suspected drink driving arrests have been made so far this month. And we're only at the 19th. So a lot of people aren't getting the message. And maybe it does require something like this to be set up here. It's Crime Stoppers in Surrey and Sussex in England are urging people to pick up the phone anonymously and squeal on their family member, their uncle, their workmate, whatever, and tell them, by the way, Johnny's after getting into a car, here's his reg number, and go and arrest him. And you can do it anonymously. Would you do it? Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. I'd be very interested to hear whether or not you would do it. 6797981. Adrian, could you give the times of arrests for drink driving? I believe most are done the morning after when the guards are out for the easy revenue. No, actually, to that person who sent that message, that actually isn't the case. The majority of the arrests were between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., and that was 205 of them. 43 arrests occurred between 9 a.m. and midday. So 43 were the next day. So to that person who thinks a lot of it is being done the next day, yes, it is being done the next day, but that wouldn't account for the majority of the arrests. Now, where am I going? Kieran, you are a barman.
Yep.
Have you ever had to forcefully stop somebody getting into a car?
I have, yeah. I was working down in Cork for 2 years in a pub, which I won't mention at the minute, but I was the person who came in was a lovely man. I didn't suspect him of drinking whatsoever. If I got wind of that driving. If I got wind that he was driving at the start of the night, I wouldn't have served him in the first place.
Okay.
But when it came to the end of the night, he was drunk. He wasn't falling around the place, but he was drunk. Like, so, I then said to everyone, "It's time to leave," kind of thing, And he left, and I asked him if he had got a taxi ready for himself and all that kind of crack, and he assured me that he had, and I was like, "That's fine." So then he left the pub, and I don't know what it was, but it was just my instincts to keep an eye on him. He left the pub and literally walked straight outside, got into his car, turned the car on, and this was obviously like a bad thing, so I had to go over and open the door and grab his keys off him and make sure that he didn't drive. And then there was a big argument until he kind of realised that what he was doing was not a good thing, and then he kind of started to comply with me. Then I gave him his keys back and he walked home.
Okay, so he was going to do it, but you intervened. Now, an awful lot of barmen wouldn't do that. An awful lot of barmen kind of turn a blind eye, don't want to get involved, don't want to cause any aggro, not my problem, all of that. Is that part of the problem? That, barmen in a lot of places, especially in locals down the country, would know bloody well that Johnny, who's been sitting at the bar for the last 3 hours, is actually getting into his car and driving home, wouldn't they?
I know. I know. You see, the thing is with working in a city or in the middle of town, I suppose, is that there's not a personal relationship with them, kind of thing. But even still, I think that's kind of not a good thing for a barman to have. I suppose as well is that the locals around the country pubs, they're only driving maybe 100, 200 metres up the road. But even still, I walk. Do you know what I mean? It's only 200 metres up the road, kind of thing. But in the city, in the towns, I still would. If I got wind of it, I'd take keys off people before
and risk getting a dig or whatever.
We see it's a dig for me, but it could be someone's life at the end of the day who's only an innocent bystander on the road, or they could hit someone walking home from the pub as well, So I might get in trouble with that person for half an hour. The next day they'll probably realise that it was probably a good thing. They'll come back and then they'll probably apologise. They might not apologise, but it wouldn't matter. I know that I've done my duty.
I just got a message in from somebody who also works as a barman, and is basically saying that he wanted to call the guards on a regular who was getting into his car, and his boss warned him not to. And because obviously this person's a regular. The last thing in order to keep regulars is ringing the guards and pointing out that one of your regulars has gotten into a car. Is the boss not right? He's basically saying it's none of his business.
No, we're serving them. We're serving them alcohol. You know, that's gonna affect their capability to drive. Like, you know, and if we find out that they're driving, then it's our duty to call the guards on them because we know that they're going to do it. You know.
All right. So you believe that the bar staff should take more responsibility for regulars or just customers walking out into their car park and hopping into a car after clearly having drink?
No, obviously, if we know that they're going to do it, then it's our duty to tell the guards that they're going to do it. Absolutely.
Okay, stay there for 1 second, Kieran. I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. The police forces in Surrey and Sussex in England are encouraging people to keep the festive season jolly by helping save lives on the road. And here's what they said in their statement. We appreciate that if you're close to someone who gets behind the wheel regularly while over the limit, it can be difficult to come forward. It could be a work colleague, a neighbour, or even a family member or a friend. Fear of being identified can be a reason people don't feel comfortable coming forward. Our anonymous service helps remove that fear. I'd love to hear from you on 6797 981. Would you ever do it? Would you ever pick up the phone and squeal on a family member or a friend or a colleague? We're back in just a moment.
98 FM's Dublin Talks.
With the Des Kelly Interiors gift voucher. The perfect present this Christmas.
98 FM.
In just a couple of minutes, we're going to be telling you where our Jeremy is. He's out and about. He's going to be giving away free selection boxes, and we'll tell you exactly where he is in just a couple of minutes. Now, we're in the middle of a conversation about drink driving and the figures out today. Don't make good reading, I have to say. There's been all this talk in the last few weeks about the stricter drink drive laws, how if you're caught, you will definitely be off the road for at least 3 months, and it's quite strict. Well, there have been 445 suspected drink driving arrests so far this month. The majority occurring between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. and a further 43 arrests occurred between 9 a.m. and midday. So more are at night than first thing in the morning. Can I just go back to you for 1 second, Shane? You were talking about working in a bar and so on. What do you say to this message which says those barmen have no right to be taking keys off anyone? What do you say to that?
Me? Is that me, Adrian?
Yes, Shane, yeah.
Yeah, we do have a right to take keys off. It's their responsibility as bar staff to take we're serving them drinks, to take the keys off them when we feel that they're too drunk to do it.
And have you ever done it?
It's their responsibility. Yeah, of course I have.
How often?
Absolutely. A few times, yeah. And the customers come back the next day and thank me. Saying, you know, I'm sorry for being stupid last night. I mean, I thought, when people get drinking and think they're Rambo, they think they're great. Oh, I'm the best driver in the world, doesn't matter. I'll never get caught. So, I mean, there's a certain pubs out there, and everyone knows, every barman knows in Ireland, and every place knows around. There's certain Republicans out there that never have a checkpoint outside their premises. I mean, ever, and there's people drinking in the place. You go down, you see that car park full, and come 10:30, people are getting into their cars 11 o'clock and driving home. And the car park's empty by the end of the night, and people are having 7 or 8, 9 points. Like, there's one particular fella who works for a Republican, and I said I won't name him, but he got caught 4 times over the legal limit. 4 times, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 times over the legal limit, and got away with it because of who he works for. So the police aren't doing shag all. The police are catching the people first thing in the morning, or catching the one person at night or whatever. But there's certain places that the police do not go outside, and I'd love a policeman to come and prove me wrong, because I can prove in 5 years solid I worked in these pubs and not one checkpoint ever outside any of his pubs.
And in fact, I think it's a very rare thing, and I'm sure most people would agree. And you wonder why they don't do that. Is it they want to catch people? Because anybody who might be of a mind to get into a car with drink on them is certainly not going to do it if there's a bloody checkpoint outside the gate.
No, but there's one way to stop it. You don't even have to put a checkpoint outside the gate, Adrian. What you do is you bring up the police who are training down in Templemore over the Christmas period, and get their duty is to stand outside a car park. You don't have to be a checkpoint. If you walk outside the car park and you see a copper standing at the edge of the car park, you are not going to get into that car. So you don't even have to. They say there's not enough police to do it. You get everyone up from Templemore You get the lads to stand in all these car parks, and I'm telling you now, you will not see one car move.
Yep.
So you don't have to have the cars outside and have all the cones and all that. It's like being a security on thing, and I know people say, oh, that's a waste of time. It's not. It's going to save lives over the Christmas, and you just have bring up the juniors from Templemore, have them stand in these big car parks, and I'm telling you now, you'll not see one person get in a car. But they're going to see the police officer standing there.
In fact, somebody just texted in, Adrian, I honestly don't think the guards don't really give a damn, especially down the country. If they really did, half the people in my local would be off the road. The only time there are checkpoints, it's usually in the same places towards the end of the month. You would agree with that, would you?
Yeah, of course I would. I could literally, I'd love to send you in Texas. There's a WhatsApp group we have around that with the bar staff and all that. And people that text into the WhatsApp, and there could be 50 or 60 people on the WhatsApp. Listen, lads, checkpoint at such and such a road. Avoid it. So people just go around the other road. But literally, if you just put a policeman outside the car parks, and there's no reason why they can't, because there's plenty of trainees down there.
Yeah, and then people just won't get into their car.
Answer your question. If you came out and had a few drinks and you seen a police officer standing
of course you wouldn't. Not in a million years.
So why can't he do it? I'd love for the commissioner, the police commissioner, to get on and tell me a reason. I'll tell everyone a reason why it can't be done.
Okay, stay there for a second, because Robbie, you are the person who sent in that message a while ago saying barmen have no right to take away people's keys.
Yeah, well, they don't. Like, what right have they got to take away people's keys after?
To save lives, to protect lives?
Yeah, okay, right, that's right, I understand that. But, like, what right have they got to go over and physically take keys out of people's hands or their pockets if that's their property?
Then we won't do that, then we'll just ring the police and refuse to serve them.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
And then you see people, but they're saying, it's my choice, I'll do what I want, and then it's the barman's choice then. See, the thing about it is that, I'm not saying you do it, and by the way, I'm not saying you, it's ignorant people that actually won't give you the keys that are causing life. So they deserve to get caught.
Yeah, well, that's all. Yeah, it's not your job to be going taking keys.
It is actually. It's actually our job to stop it. It is actually our job.
Well, what law? Tell me what law says that.
It's not. It's common sense.
Right, that's fair enough. And by the way, as well as that, a lot of barmen, they sit down after work every night and they have their 2 or 3 pints and they drive home. I know loads of them, plenty of them.
Yeah, and they shouldn't do it. And by the way, there's a lot of them have stopped since this new law has come in. But there's actually more checkpoints. There's actually more checkpoints at that hour of the morning where bar staff are.
Well, not the ones that I know anyway, because they all sit down at the end of the night. They have their 2 or 3 pints. They're all barmen when they're finished up and the thing are closed, and then they drive home.
Yeah. Stay there, both of you, for a second, because Lauren.
Hiya.
Lauren, tell us why you think people should pick up the phone and call the guards if they know somebody's getting in behind the wheel of a car.
Well, my cousin was killed by a drunk driver when he was 21. It's a long time ago now, but he was cycling between the Glenma Downs and Kilmac, and he was mowed off the road. And he was one of the top jockeys in the country at the time, and he had a great future ahead of him, and he was just wiped out by one, you know.
Wow. Now, the question we're asking today is whether or not people should pick up the phone and call the guards, even if it's somebody close to them, even if it's a friend, a family member. What do you do?
Do you know, I think that, you know, especially if you see somebody on the road and you see they're driving all over the road, I think you have a duty in that case to take them off the road, because you don't know who could be around that corner. It could be a family member, it could be a friend walking or in the car or with a buggy or anything like that, and they could be taken out as well. I think if you see somebody on the road, it's, you know, to keep a clear conscience, you kind of need to, like what you did and what the other guy did, ring and get them taken off the road. It's just, you know, it's only normal to do that, I think, you know.
Yeah, I think where the problem is, though, is when it's somebody close to you, and you know they're after getting in behind the wheel of a car. Let's say somebody comes around to your house at Christmas and they have a load of drinks and they were originally planning to get a taxi and then they hop into their car. Do you ring then?
I don't know many that would do it on a family member. I really don't know anybody that would really do it, I don't think. Like, really do it. You know, they might say they would do it, but when it comes to it,
I have to say, I believe that as well.
Yeah.
I don't believe there are many people who would ring on their brother or their uncle or whatever, especially at Christmas time. I just don't believe people would do it. But anyway, look, thanks very much indeed for your call, Lauren. And Robbie and all of you for your calls. You're listening to 98 FM's Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today.
98 FM's Dublin Talks.
It is almost Christmas. And let us lighten the mood up. In fact, I'm looking for your help in a second, please. I'm looking for suggestions for Christmas presents. I'll explain why in a minute. I'm really struggling here, okay? But before all of that, as you know, every year at around about this time, we send our Jeremy out and about onto the streets of Dublin to give away free selection boxes. In fact, at Easter, we get him to give away free Easter eggs. But this year, free selection boxes, some of which contain cold, hard cash. Where are you?
Well, we said we were going to be within the 4-kilometre vicinity of the city centre, and that's exactly where we are. Now, people have been watching our Facebook Live video. We went Facebook Live about 20 minutes ago to give some clues as to where we were. So we are now at the location. It is Smithfield Square, not far from the Big Chimney. So you know where the Big Chimney is?
I do.
You know it very well. Smithfield Square. We are just beside that. We've just arrived, and we have the 98 FM Thunders with us, packed with selection boxes, including some selection boxes that have money in them. So that's where we are, Smithfield Square. If you're in the vicinity of the area, if you're driving up and down the quays, it'll be easy enough for you to get to.
Okay, now, this is first come, first served. Our 98 FM Thunders are laden down with selection boxes, but we don't have an endless supply. So first come, first served to Smithfield Square. And inside some of the selection boxes is money. Now, not in all of them, but in some of them, there is money. So, you get a selection box regardless, but some have money. All right. So what sort of money are we talking about here?
Well, I don't know. They're just put in the selection boxes. But last year we had a couple of €150 winners. We had a couple of €100 winners. So it can be anything up to 150, I think, for a selection box. So I would advise you, if you are coming down to get a selection box off me, make sure you open the selection box when you are there with me to see if you have the money, because we like to see the look on your face when you open the selection box and there's more than a whisper bar and a crunchy bar in it, when there's actually cold hard cash in it as well. So if you are coming down, take your time. We have plenty of selection boxes. As you said, there's not an end of supply, but we do have a lot of selection boxes, some of which contain money. Okay, Jeremy, right now is at Smithfield Square with the 98 FM Thunders. First come, first served. Make your way down there and get your free selection box and the possibility of winning money as well. Jeremy, we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes. That's where he is, at Smithfield Square. Okay, so if you like you said, if you're driving along the quays, it's not like you're moving very fast, because you can't. Swing into Smithfield Square and grab yourself a selection box. Or if you live around the area, pop down to them. Smithfield Square is where we are giving away free selection boxes. Now, I'm looking for your help. Okay, it's a couple of days to Christmas, and I think loads of men are like this. Maybe you are a man like this. You walk yesterday. I left work. And we're just around the corner from Grafton Street, and I walked the length of Grafton Street, walked in and out of every bloody shop on Grafton Street, and I came home still with nothing. What am I talking about? I have to buy a present for my other half, yeah? And I went into every shop, and I've no ideas. So, I know there are loads of men. I was walking into shops, walking around, looking at everything and walking back out again, because I just couldn't find anything to as a Christmas present. I am looking for suggestions. How have you solved the dilemma of not knowing what to buy? I'm looking for creative ideas. I know she's not listening now, so I'm good to go, okay? Call me right now on 6797981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. I'm looking for suggestions of how you solve the dilemma. And by the way, I want to hear from ladies as well about how to buy for your man. Suggestions for just something different, just different presents. Give me an idea, because time is rapidly running out.
Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Just give me suggestions, please. We'll take some of your calls in a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
98 FM's Dublin Talks
With the Des Kelly Interiors gift voucher for beds, flooring and more.
98 FM.
Get her a voucher was the first message that came in. Now, I have to say, I think vouchers are the weakest type of present you can get for somebody, so I'm not going to get her a voucher. And by the way, I have the added problem this year. It's our first wedding anniversary. We got married last Christmas, so that adds to it. So please, I'm looking for your help. What will I buy her for Christmas? Because I walked the length and breadth of Grafton Street and couldn't find anything. Every shop I went into was like looking into a well. There was nothing there. Please help. I'm looking for different suggestions of what to buy as a Christmas present for my missus. Now, let's go back to Smithfield Square, where our Jeremy is giving away free selection boxes.
Foot spa.
Sorry?
Foot spa.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm just standing here in Smithfield Square waiting to talk to you, and that just popped into my mind. Foot spa.
No,
just like a foot spa.
No. That's what's that saying? You've got smelly feet, or you have horrible feet.
And does she have smelly feet?
No.
Okay, well then don't get her a foot spa.
No.
Anyway, back to business. I'm here at Smithfield Square. I'm just underneath. You can't miss where I am. I'm underneath the huge chimney. Just off New Church Street. I'm at Smithfield Square. We announced it a few minutes ago, and already there are people here already. Let me go to the first girl, actually, because you were here first of all. I have a quick question for you. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas? First thing that pops into your head. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas? A handbag. Adrian, what about a handbag?
Handbag could work, but the problem is, I don't know a good handbag from a bad one.
Hang on. He has an answer. What should he get her? Brussels sprouts ice cream. Yeah, what about Brussels sprouts ice cream, Adrian?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
We'll ask a few of these people. Okay, let's start giving out these selection boxes. So here we go. Now open them when you're here, guys. And happy Christmas. There's one for you. And check to see if they have money in them. There you go. Sorry, what? Already? Open it quick. €100. €100? Yeah. Well done. Congratulations. What's your name?
Anthony Flynn.
Anthony Flynn. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
I assume that's not the same Anthony Flynn from Inner City Helping Homeless.
No, it's a different Anthony Flynn.
No, not the Inner City fella.
Not the Inner City fella. It's a popular name. What are you going to spend £100 on?
I don't know.
That's just Brussels sprouts ice cream.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas to you. Let me talk. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas? Have you got a woman in your life?
No.
No, you don't have that hand. You're lucky man. Can you think of anything about this?
Some sexy lingerie.
What?
Some sexy lingerie.
You hear that, Adrian?
I'd be hit with it.
Yeah, he said he'll be hit with it. Yeah, that's not a good. That's probably why you're single, by the way. Yeah, that's the reason. Let me get some more selection boxes for you. I'm going to get some ideas from these people, Adrian. Come on up to the car and we'll hand them out to you. Happy Christmas. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas? A washing machine. Get away, you sexist pig.
No.
Adrian, does she need a new washing machine?
No.
Happy Christmas.
And thanks to my friend Tina, who's after sending me a photograph of a lovely handbag that I could get her for Christmas. Tina, they cost a bloody fortune. No. Anyway, Jeremy, you've given away £100 already.
Yes, I have. Make sure you open your selection boxes here. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas? What's your name, by the way? Leah, what should he get his wife?
An expensive purse.
An expensive purse?
You see, I don't know a good purse from a bad purse.
€100.
Sorry, hang on. You want €100? Open it up there. Well, you know how much it is. It says it on it. There, look from 98 FM. Happy Christmas. €100.
God, you're lashing out the money there.
Is that your fella there?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she split up with you?
Definitely.
Okay, there's a row here already. Anyway, he should get his wife an expensive purse. How much should he spend?
Shouldn't put a price on his wife now, should he?
Adrian, okay, you can't put a price on your wife.
No, indeed, I know. Yeah. No, I've written that down. But you see,
a great quote, actually. By the way, how dare you say that? Because my wife is listening now, and she's going to say that to me tonight. You can't put a price on me. You can't. So £200 for a purse.
That's a bit more.
Bit more. Sorry, that's what are you saying? How much?
purses these days, mate.
No, I haven't. I don't shop for purses. How much are they?
Sorry, Jeremy, I can't hear a word they're saying.
Adrian, Louis Vuitton purse.
Louis Vuitton purse. Okay, here, enough of this. This is ridiculous. Sorry, I can't hear a word they're saying. Katie, can you ring him back and tell him that we can't hear a word that the people are saying? Emma, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Emma?
Hi, how are you?
Emma, you have a romantic idea for me.
Yes, get her the night sky when you were married.
Sorry?
The night sky when you were married.
What does that mean?
You can get it for when your baby was born as well, but you can also get it when you were married. And it's basically just like the stars and everything like that when you got married.
Oh, like the position, what is it, a poster like?
Yeah, but it comes in a really nice frame and it has like it'll have your names on it and everything like that, so it'll be really romantic.
Oh, right, okay. And so it's the night sky as it was the night we got
when
married?
You were married, yeah.
Oh.
So you can Google, I'm not sure the company that do it, but you can Google it and it'll come up straight away.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Especially for your first anniversary as well.
Yeah. That's
brownie points.
Yeah, brownie point. Okay, I like that. Okay, I've written that down. The night sky. And just Google it and I'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much, Emma.
Okay, bye-bye.
Now, somebody says your first year anniversary is your paper anniversary. Get her a collage of photos of yourself. Oh, sorry, of the two of you. Oh, right. Can you imagine giving her a collage of photographs of myself as a Christmas present? Where am I going next? JD, you're on 98 FM. How are you, JD?
Good morning, Adrian. How are you?
Okay, what have you got for me?
A lovely, nice weekend away, you and her, for Christmas and your first anniversary. Back down to the Bridge Hotel, actually.
Down to the Bridge Hotel in Tullamore?
Absolutely. Where you got married, buddy?
Right. I'm wondering would she like that. Okay, so the night sky, and maybe,
of course.
Maybe,
of course, she'd love it.
And maybe give her a voucher then for a night in the Bridge House Hotel in Tullamore, which is where we got married.
2 nights, Adrian. Do 2 nights.
Okay, 2 nights. Okay, 2 nights in the Bridge House, and then give her the night sky thing.
Absolutely.
That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Absolute gorgeous.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm with you. Thanks very much indeed. None of these ridiculously expensive suggestions. And yes, I know. Back to my friend Tina, who sent me in a photograph of some Louis Vuitton bag and a purse, saying she'd love one of these. She says the bag is €1,000 and the purse is 390. On your bike, Tina. Jeremy is back there in Smithfield.
Yes, I am. We now have a very orderly queue for. Make some noise for 98 FM. Let me run along right then. How's everybody got? You all look freezing. So we've already given away, what have we given away? We've given away 2 100s, we gave away a 150 as well, and we gave away 50. So we've loads of money. I'm going to let you go first because your little daughter there is freezing cold. There you go. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Yeah, you can open that now if you want. Go ahead. Happy Christmas. Cheers. Some more ideas, Adrian. Do you want some more ideas for your wife?
Yeah.
Sorry, what's your name? Kelly. What should Adrian buy his wife for Christmas?
Earrings.
Earrings? Adrian, earrings. Does she have earrings? Well, I'm sure she does.
She does, yeah. Maybe, okay.
Would you like earrings?
Yes.
Okay.
How much should he spend on the earrings?
About 100.
100 quid on earrings?
My only problem with earrings, is this, it looks like you're given the tiniest present in the world.
The box looks small.
Yeah.
You don't want to be getting a small box on Christmas Day.
No, absolutely not, no.
It doesn't look very impressive.
No.
Sorry, what are you afraid of? Jesus, what's your name?
Helen.
Oh, I'm terrified. Helen, what should Adrian get his wife for Christmas?
A new wedding ring.
A new wedding ring? They only got married last year.
All right, okay. A new house.
Adrian, how's your wife's ring after a year?
Oh, no, it's spotless, yeah.
Yeah, so no, that's a ridiculous thing, a new wedding ring. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas?
Cash.
Cash?
Cash.
Oh, cash.
Lots of cash.
You see, I think that's insulting as well.
What we like.
That's what you like in your house, Adrian Cash.
Right, Cash, yeah.
Cash Kennedy, that's your nickname, isn't it?
Okay, are there many selection boxes left?
Yeah, how are we doing? We've still got dozens left. Yes, if you're around the Smithfield area, we have a queue here at the moment, but it's moving fairly quick. If you're around the Smithfield Square area, make some noise, guys. You're getting free chocolate. Pop down to us. We'll be here for the next 10 minutes. Happy Christmas. Let me just ask one last lady. You look like a lady in the know. What should Adrian get his wife for Christmas?
A new laptop.
A new, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Does she need a new laptop, Adrian?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, we're getting loads. And
how much did
loads
you spend on the laptop?
1,000.
Oh, 1,000, right, okay. €1,000.
The women in Smithfield are very expensive taste,
yeah, so it appears.
Yeah,
all right, Jeremy, we're going to have to
Christmas.
leave you there. Jeremy's in Smithfield tomorrow. He will be out somewhere else. We'll let you know tomorrow where he is. Thanks for listening today. Thursday's Dublin Talks, 10 o'clock in the morning. Barry Dunn is on the way, and in the next hour, he's got some great music lined up, like these.
FM's Dublin Talks
with the Des Kelly Interiors gift voucher. The perfect present this Christmas.
98 FM.